Right, so we're at our next off-grid setup to have a look at. There's a story behind why there's a castle with a flag there. It's very interesting. We're at Creative Roots Ministry, is that right?
Yeah.
So another great setup here, so we're going to look around. So this is Em.
Hello.
Guardian of this wonderful land.
Welcome.
We'll start with either power or water, and waste will do last.
In which
Shall we
case
have...
we'll go around this way.
Okay.
So we'll do water first because there's quite a system, but we'll also do power while we're there because we've got a couple of power systems set up. Because when you live like this over a considerable amount of space, we live over 4,000 metres square, it's good to have things set up practically so you can access what you need as you need it. Come on with me.
So what is your water source? Obviously a well.
So here, I'm going to show you this.
How many?
So
is it just the one?
No.
Oh, okay.
So this is, first of all, when you first get your bucket, this is old school, collecting your water. Oh. So you get your bucket and then you throw it in and you get a little bit of water in the bucket and then you pull your bucket back up so far, yeah? Hopefully this will work, otherwise I'll look rather daft. So, it didn't work that time, so hold on. So we pull it part way up. I'll cheat, hold on. There we go. So we start off putting water in. Usually we get it from the bottom, we throw it in. There you go. Can you see it sunk under the water?
Yeah.
And now we're going to pull up a full bucket. And this is old school. This is old school water collection. So then we can fill up the water bowl for pours. It's always good because when you've got a system like this, where you're collecting your water, it means that when you run out of power in winter, yeah, you've always got a way of collecting your water. So like I say, it's a bit... Yeah, so you're getting a bit of water in your bucket, yeah, and then try and not let it catch on the stone on the way up, yeah, and then we can always throw it out.
Oh, that was a good shot.
Yeah, and then as you pull it up, you've got a full bucket. I'll let you have a go later.
What's that red thing? That
red thing is what I'll talk you through that. I'll just get this out so then we've got water for the dogs because it needed filling up. So there we go. The dog's water. I can do some more later. And I always put a bit out for the birds and the bugs. Yeah, because you got to take care of the animals. Yeah. So in here you see a red thing down the bottom. And now we're going to move from old school to new school. We've got a red thing down there. If you follow this pipe down to the bottom, there's a red float. So what we've got is what's called a submersible pump. The pump is in the water and it's held by this rope here because you can't leave it hanging by its electric cable. That's dangerous. So we've got it done in with this, like hung in with this rope. And then this pipe here is attached to the submersible, which comes up here because it's thick pipe. You don't want the pipe kinking. So you've got a nice and smooth run. And I'm now going to take you inside the pump house, which we built because you don't want to be, when you've got a pump and a battery system, you don't want to leave it in the sun. So come on into the pump house. So here we go. So I'll try not to fall in there. So what we've got there is the filter system. So it comes in from the well and goes into the first one, which is carbon. And then that filters out the biggest particles in the water. And then it comes through into the next system and then the next system and the next system. So it goes through a system of 4 different filters, starting taking the bigger filter pieces of dirt in the water all the way to the littles, and then finally comes out into the pipe at the end after all 4, and then heads to the house. I did have that Thermal pump, which wasn't, it sucked the water up from the well, and not it wasn't a submersible. It was fitted by a professional. It's absolutely not suitable for me or for the system because of the depth of water in the well. We've really got to consider how deep your water goes and how shallow your water is in the well in the middle of summer.
So wait a minute, this one's called a submersible pump. What was the other one called?
This one's just there. So this blue thing here it's just it sucks your water up.
So where does it? Oh, so it sits up here and just sucks it up through the pipe.
Yeah, but I've took it out so that
that's completely redundant.
Yeah, it's not going for the bin, but when that would be more suitable for something like a river or something where the water's further up, so that where you're pumping your water from and to is within, say, 5 metres of each other. Whereas this in the well, this submersible pump that I've got now is suitable for going up to 20 metres in height. So it's a heck of a lot more stronger. So we've got to consider the depth of the water and how far we're sucking it. So we're moving on to a 12-volt system now. So with solar power, you can have different types of voltage. We're going to keep it simple in M terms because I like things nice and simple, nice and easy. So we basically go and we're using the power from the sun, and we're having a 12-volt system. That means it works on things like batteries from cars and motorbikes and things, depending on what we want. So we've got a basic 12-volt battery, like a leisure battery there, and we've used that, but at the moment I've got this big one, and it's just a 12-volt leisure battery, but it's a lot bigger. It's 250 ampere hour 12-volt battery that I used to have in the house, and it just stores more. The ampere hours just means it stores more, so it'll last longer. So as there's one panel on the roof, it's bringing the power in, it's going through a solar controller, and it's registering there. It's 14.3 volts. It's coming through the controller and it's going down into the battery.
See, I just want to say, you can tell. You teach something, don't you?
I teach permaculture.
You can tell because the way you explain things, you can tell you're a teacher. It's really,
thank you.
It's nicely and well explained. So
yeah, in layman's terms.
So it's just a leisure battery. Yeah, and then we have this 1000-watt inverter, and we've got USB sockets. We can use it as a charging point for our phones if we want to. We've got also it converts it there, so you've got your usual power.
Wow. Oh,
yeah, so you can plug in your power tools. Yeah. It's pretty awesome. So you can just plug in your usual plugs, yeah, and have that system. And I use this so that I can charge all my power tools without getting confused, so everything's where it needs to be in the shed.
How many watts is the solar panel?
The solar panel on here is 480 watts.
Is that it?
No, that's the roof.
Yeah, but is it not on top of back?
It is on top of the roof. Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah, this is a sandwich panel, but on top of that, it goes up and it's held on the roof, and it's at a slight angle and it's pointing south.
Right, the phone overheated, so I've had to resort to my iPad, but it means we can take the opportunity to come in here and look at the system in the house. So where was we?
I was just explaining that lead acid batteries are just basically old school. They're just plates of lead with the cells that are dancing in the liquid, which is generating the power. And as the squares of lead break down, they don't generate as much power. Nowadays they have something that's a lead substitute, and it's basically still plates that are dancing cells in the liquid that generate the power. That's it.
So they're called lead acid batteries, but they no longer use lead.
Yeah. But basically, we get things like the gel cells and stuff like that. So we've got these batteries that can be fixed, basically. So we can fix them, we can recharge them, regenerate them, restore them, and it's always good to have that kind of thing. So we've got here, it's an Apiva 24-volt system. Feel free to climb up, Louise. So we've got a 24-volt Apiva system. So in the shed it was a 12-volt, and in here it's a stronger and it stores more power. So we've got a 24-volt system.
So wait a minute, that tiny little inverter
It out there is for the inverter takes it up to 1,000 watt to be able to do a pump. Now in here this has got a bigger solar system. On the roof we have 575 watt panels. So
5 times
575. All the panels here are monocrystalline. You should always have the same ones. These are D-cell, and we've got these are 12-volt batteries. So if you've got a 12-volt battery, and you take your 12-volt battery and you wire it like this is wired, what you get is a 24-volt battery, or the equivalent of a 24-volt battery. So it's 260 ampere hours of 24 volts. So we've got a beautiful system that is powerful enough. It's just under 3,000 kilowatts. It's just enough to do all my lighting, run my washing machine, heat my water, make my toasties, use my smoothie maker, my hand blender, you know.
And then your oven and your cooker, your hob's gas.
Yeah.
Cook on gas.
Yeah. So my cooker's gas, and I'm trying to think if there was anything else, like my shower, and that's all gravity fed, but it's also attached to the hot water.
Going back to those batteries, so basically, are they in series? So you've doubled.
I can never remember what series or parallel, but
but you've basically doubled up.
Yeah.
So if you added a third one, could you then just triple up?
No, you can't triple up because that doesn't. You could triple up if it was 12-volt system, and you were keeping it as a 12-volt system, and like you would with a lithium system. So you can have so many batteries of the same, but if you wire up a certain way, you need to make sure that that it is a storage system, and you're not overdoing it, because you don't want to frazzle your batteries.
So is this at full capacity now? You can't expand?
I can't expand this at any bigger. I mean, 3K is more than enough to live in a tiny castle.
What about fridge, freezer?
I'm on the freezer now. This here is, I also have my freezer. Now the wonders of having a chest freezer is a chest freezer will store. If there's no power, like in winter, my chest freezer can't be on at night. So at night I turn off my freezer, and then in the morning I turn it on, and all the food is perfectly safe and stored, and nothing goes off.
As long as you don't open it, it keeps...
Exactly. So I have a chest freezer because it's the most economical. So that's me chest freezer, and believe me, it's absolutely full to capacity. All the good stuff. No, that's curry, that is. You got to reuse them pots.
Yeah.
Being resourceful.
Okay, we are in the kitchen.
We are in the kitchen. So this is the water heater. So we've got a little, it's 1,500 watts. It's a 30-litre tank. So this is just a normal one like you'd have in a house. And this heats up, and it basically runs off the solar power. So it's basically just the same as you'd have in a house, but it's suitable to run off a small system. You mean you don't need much for a shower. If you're getting a proper shower, this is the tiny little fridge. We also have a beautiful washer. So we do our own laundry here. New school. Oh, excuse me.
No going to Intermarché or whatever. That is so cute.
Yeah, no going to the laundrette now. We're going new school with the washer. And then this beautiful, like, this is the bathroom. And we've got the sink here. We've got hot and cold water. We've got a toilet here that does work and it is plumbed in. I've just got to get a biodigester to plug them into that.
I didn't realise you got a flushing toilet.
I have, but it's not finished. The outside needs a biodigester to finalise it. So for now, we're on old school compost toilet, which is also what I use anyway. We're going to move on to that.
Yeah, that's everyone's favourite subject.
Yeah, and I teach it. I've got 1,820 odd students that learn on my free course on Udemy. So, and 8 communities in Africa that I've taught.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realise you went so far and wide.
Yeah. So I'm not getting a shower now, but it's hot enough. Yeah. So this is an actual shower that actually is plumbed into the hot and cold water, and you just work it with the tap. And with all our systems here, it's gravity fed. Gravity fed means in winter when there isn't the power in your battery to keep heating things up or to pump things around the house, all you've got to do is turn the tap and the water's still going to come.
And how high up does that have to be to give you a decent bit of pressure of water so it doesn't trickle out?
It just works. Yeah. The way I've done it in the past, like when I was at Himsa Food Forest and Permaculture Project, is it's trial and error, because each pump that we use is going to be different. So each pump has a different length that it can carry and the amount it can suck up and carry and send over a certain amount of land. So depending on the height it's got to go, and not just the height, the length of the pipe, they both matter. Yeah.
And how much what's that word called? Slope the pipe's got on it. How much,
a pitch. With a motorcycle, it would be your pitch. Yeah. So like your pitch of your forks on your motorcycle. Yeah. Or the pitch of your roof. The pitch of your roof matters as well. So when you're collecting your water, and you always want to put your roof, when I was designing the houses and the buildings here, I designed it so that the roofs took the water away from the doors. So when you're walking through, you're not walking through a waterfall. Yeah. These things are important. Yeah. So we'll get on to the story of the thing. So here we have a system. Mind out, Pawsey. So this comes from the well. We're bringing it up from the well across the land into here, and it comes up. Now it's got two things. One's direct. If that pump that I didn't like, that I've took out the system, was working, you'd always have that on. But that system is really no good when you've in winter and you haven't got the power to run it. It isn't any good if the well height's not, the water in the well's not right.
Sorry to interrupt. What sort of power was that pump?
I'd have to look. I think it was something like 450.
Oh, blimey.
But what I've got now is a 1,000 wattage pump. But once everything's in it's not coming back down. It's fine. So this is the IBC. So it goes to what's called an IBC. So now we can go to the...
just the one you got up there?
Yeah. So just the one's just 1,000 litres. So as you can see, if you want to stand in the shade there, I'll point. Hopefully you can see me. So what I designed, we didn't want to get, when the sun hits an IBC is a clear, then the water's going to go green and awful, and you don't want green getting in your pipes. So we needed to cover the IBC up, and the IBC was higher, so the gravity worked. So we decided that we were going to build a castle. So this meant that the turret would go around the IBC, protecting it from the sun. But then I thought, well, we can't see the IBC and see the water level. What do we do? So why not? We've got a flag. So as you can see up there, the wonderful flag, we've got, basically I designed it myself. I used a water float that you use in the toilet. I screwed it in some threaded bar that you buy threaded bar from the any drogeria or whatever. And then I used an old tent pole. So I glued the threaded bar into the tent pole so it's nice and smooth. And there it is. So it's basically floating at the water level. So when the flag's up, we've got water. When the flag's down, it's time to fill up the tank.
That is awesome.
And it's gravity fed, so it doesn't need any electric. Simple as when you know how.
So that one well is giving you all the water for the house.
Yeah, and the washing.
And your washing machine. What about the garden, the watering, the garden?
There is no watering of the gardeners yet. If there was, it would, but everything here sustains itself at the current time, so all the trees are old enough to, and when the trees are being put in, things will be set up specifically through the art of permaculture, so you don't actually have to. You know, you don't want to overwater your land, you don't want to underwater it. So here's the fire pit where we sit and circle around the fire, sacred circle. I'm just going to explain this because we had an old toilet and then we renewed it. Should we do it inside? So come on into the dark. I'll sit on the toilet. Right, okay, so basically we had, from day one, we had a humanure composting toilet set up. But I wanted to get a better system that was more suitable for what we have here because of me teaching humanure. I wanted to show everyone that it is possible to have what my dad calls a posh shitter. So we're in the middle of revamping the toilet. So we into recycling and reusing. So we gave our old system, our old humanure composting system, to our neighbours who'd moved in, so they could utilise it. And I built this with the help of someone who knows what they're doing, because I've had to learn brickwork and all sorts and joinery. So we've built these external walls. This is, as it is, it's not finished, so you get into your stud where the sink's being fitted. This is ready for grouting the floor now. We've got a walk-in shower section that's going to be gravity fed, and then you'll need to see in here, and I'll show you in the, I'll show you the proper stuff, because why not? Let's get mucky. Well, as mucky as we can do. So this is our humanure system. So you sit down on the poo there, and here's where you get your sawdust. Yeah. But we're gonna take it a little bit further than that, and we're gonna lift up this system here and show you inside.
It's just one bucket, so do
yeah.
you not separate wee and poop?
Of course not. You're not supposed to. So there's many people that don't know what they're doing with humanure. And what happens with humanure is it's supposed to always be covered. So when someone uses the toilet, they're always supposed to cover what they did last time with enough of that so that you don't get a smell. That then soaks it up and means that we won't have to have smells and we won't get flies. Then we know we're doing it correctly.
Yeah, there's no flies in here.
Yeah, it's because we do it properly. This also has a lid, so if we need to, because we only go into the pile once a week, so we have a lid, we can put the lid on, take it out and put another one in. Yeah, so we only need to open the pile once a week. So basically we've got, this collects the wee and the poo, and then you collect your composting stuff, you know, like your veg kitchen scraps and things, garden things that you don't want in the garden if you've got nowhere else for them to go. So you only need really a small square, but this is nice and it's solid and it's a sustainable system because a lot of people are going to use it.
What was I going to ask? Someone, what's it? Yeah, put lime in it.
There should never be lime in a toilet. It's an old school.
Why?
The people, people use lime, and lime shouldn't go in humanure. So when you go in to learn humanure, what we've got to learn is that things like ash and lime don't go in a toilet because it dehydrates it. And the reason why urine goes with poo is because because the organisms that go in humanure, that process humanure, they swim. So to allow the little microorganisms to swim, you need to have it down wet, yeah? Not too wet, but wet enough to swim through. So ash is brilliant, wood ash, but for underneath trees, like trees with stones in, is really good for wood ash. Lime is great for limecrete. Lime is not good for compost toilets. Anything where poo touches the ground is not good, because when the poo goes into the ground, you're releasing, humans have parasites in them. We all have parasites. And even those of us that have done cleansers and stuff, maybe we've had medicine and there's medicines that goes through us, or we've ate something that contains something that's going through us. We can't guarantee what's coming through us, what we're putting into our system and what's coming out of our system is going to be okay for the earth as it is. There's a rule with humanure composting that when we do our pile, we have it at least 18 inches at the bottom. We do what's called an organic filter, and we fill it full of like hay or straw. And just before we've put that in, we scrape out the bottom of our earth base. So it's got to be touching the floor. You can't do humanure composting on concrete. So you scrape it out like a little shallow bowl, you know, like a wok or something. Nice and big at the bottom of your 1 metre square or 1.2 metre square. Like 4 pallets is a perfect size.
Is that what you've got next door?
I'm going to show you, but because it's dark and cooler in here, I'm trying to explain. So we get that bit, then we put our organic sponge on that we make with our straw, which I'm going to show you, because you have one on the bottom and one at the top. And then you have the bit in the middle. So you make your sides all comfy with all the straw, and then you're feeding into the centre of the centre. So each time you fill it up each week. Never mix your poo and your edibles together until after the day you put it in. Why I say this is we had a quite an interesting experience. We had a toilet, and we'd scraped our food into the toilet while we were touring Scotland a few summers back, and we heard this burp noise, and we're like, what was that? And then the toilet exploded, and there was shit everywhere. And Simon,
You'll never forget that.
we will never. And Simon was stood at the side of the lock, cleaning. He really was, bless him. We've got the video on YouTube to prove it. It was rather explosive. So we know the hard way, we don't mix our food waste and our toilet waste until the day it goes into the system.
So just to say, so you actually do a free course on YouTube?
I do free course called the Conscious Composter. Anyone can join. You sign up as the Conscious Composter course. When you sign up, you'll get a free ebook. So that means you've got a pocket guide you can pop up on your phone and just check. It tells you how to build your compost toilet. It tells you how the process. It tells you all about browns and greens. It tells you how to compost even without humanure. It explains and it simplifies everything. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's cool. Sneeze. Bless you.
Thank you.
So when you're using humanure, if you want to know how to do it properly, and the best way for your land is to not let anything get into the ground and process it correctly so you can feed your earthworms. Let's show you what humanure really does when it's been processed. So what you can see, this is given way. So what we needed to do is we need to build a brick wall here in here, because this is supposed to be up there. And that's this year's humanure. Now that's like 2 years humanure that's been broken down, and it's ready now to go into the ground. And if you see, this is the biological sponge I was talking about. So it's just simply this in thick enough level. So Louise, can you smell poo?
I was just going to say as well, there's no flies.
There's no flies and there's no smell. There's no rotten anything. It's just how it needs to be, which is odourless and flyless, because you don't want flies and smells.
So how much of the straw do you need to use?
About 18 inches at the top.
And then so how much do you go through in terms of buying in bales, say like?
2 or 3 a year.
Oh, is that all?
And it's about €6 a bale.
2 or 3 a year?
Yeah, to set up, it takes 2 bales to set up to make sure you've got enough to start getting things in. And then after that, I mean, when you've got grass like this and you cut your grass down,
course,
you can just throw it over the top.
You've basically got hay there.
Yeah, it just grows anyway. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to show you. Can you see that?
Hang on. Yeah.
That is real humanure. As you can see, it's really class compost. It's crumbly.
How long did you say that's been there? How long has that taken?
That has taken, well, this has been way over what it needs to be. It's this has probably been sat here 2 years.
2 years.
So basically, it is a bit crumbly there.
And it doesn't need to be covered?
No.
It doesn't need, like, can it get too hot, too cold? Does it need an ideal temperature? Or?
No, it sorts itself out. If it's compost you've got to work on, it's really no good. Like, so if you see here, it's still wet, it's crumbly, it's lovely, it's wet, there's no poo left in it. But there is earthworms, which it might be a bit warm now in the environment for the earthworms to come in. But there's earthworms are having a party in there closer to the ground. And that's what you want. Like my ground, the land here, since humanuring and that, especially around here, we have got so many earthworms and so much diversity. We've got a snake that lives near here. It's just a beautiful place and space where everything is, you know. It's eco, everything's been built sustainably, supporting local business.
In terms of number of people,
yeah.
Say you was a big family or you was in a community, you know, I don't know, how many people could use this? Is it?
Well, I've had over 100 people come through in the first year, so over 100 people's poo is in that there.
It's got a lot of capacity basically.
Yeah, because it breaks itself down, you see. So you can, a family of 4, I think it is, can easily keep, I need to refill that. A family of 4 can easily have the humanure system for a good year without having to change it. So this will last a good year or so.
So once a week you empty the bucket and then cover it with straw?
Yeah, so I open it up, so I pull back this level, this top level, pull it over to one side, dig it into the centre of the centre, and once it's dug into the centre of the centre, empty it in, then put it back together and then cover it with straw.
And so what's the water? Do you have to keep it moist?
No, the water is simply because the sink's not plumbed in yet.
Will you do rainwater collection off that roof?
Yeah, it's, as you can see from the side there, it's tilted backwards, and as you could see where you were stood, it's lowered, and we're going to have 5 IBCs in a row at the back that's going to keep and store the water over the winter. And it's going to then generate the water system for the shower when we fit the shower in. This will also have a 12-volt system in. So this is the tiny house number 1 that I built. It's almost completely finished. It ran out of wood. This is the tiny house built on the element of fire. So you've got comfy chairs, king-size bed, drawers, nice and simple.
It's under the shade of the trees because it's not hot in here.
No.
So
on top of that, this is insulated. May I show you my books?
Oh yeah.
These are my books that I wrote. So, Meeting Your Grief, helping people understand about how to manage their losses, their loss of health, the loss of, you know, and change.
Oh, grief as in not necessarily from someone dying.
That's
any
bereavement.
Kind of, Okay.
Bereavements when
yeah.
it's
I don't
person or a pet, and grief is like a loss of a health or a job or you move countries, that's grief. Grief's the weight we all carry. And this, it says not for real sale because this is the author's copy.
Yeah.
That's me. Rebirth in a Revolution is all about the permaculture, that if we're practicing permaculture, we're basically starting at zero, and we're challenging your beliefs and your barriers and breaking you free from the system that you're in so that you can be empowered through learning a permanent culture, you know. And it's all about ethical living, being energy efficient and formulating your toolbox. So I've drawn the pictures myself, and we're just talking about humanity, and we go through all sorts. So basically it's to help you realise how we can catch and store, how we can relate to our environment, and how we can change what we do. So as we are in, you know, so within, so without. So it's all about how to do things, different practices, you know, different ways of seeing things, little stories. It just helps you to
So where can you get those?
remember Amazon.
And are they all physical, or can you get an ebook version?
You
as
can
well?
get ebook.
Okay.
Anyone who's part of Kindle, I think they're free. I've signed up to something, so you know what me, I like doing free things, and so people get to share the love. So I think it's either free or 99p. I think it's free for people who are Kindle members or something. So it's just telling you about the practice of rain meditation and permaculture zoning, and, you know, starting at zero, how we can grow our space, our body, our minds, emotional permaculture, how we relate to our world.
So it sounds like it's good for someone that's new to permaculture, maybe
even
just
someone who would like to remember what permaculture is,
back to basics, remember what
so it helps you to break free from the social conditioning and join me in my rebirth in a revolution. As you can see here, I'm rebirthing the revolution.
So remind me the grief one again, sorry.
Meeting your grief.
Meeting your grief. How to recognise and manage your journey home.
So up here we're building some more tiny houses. We'll have 5, they're going to be called peace pods. So people and each one's elemental. So people that want to come and breathe and be in peace can come and be in peaceful and return to the roots of who they are. It's returning to acknowledge the grief and just be in that safe space while they do so. So that's...
You've got I see bricks here, so they're all going to be different design type, because that one's all wood frame. This one, is this a different one, this next
Everything's different, and everything depends on the different materials that we can get. As you can see with the doors and stuff, we kind of get the materials and then we get creative. Creative roots. Nothing goes to waste. So we break down, when we've trimmed our trees and we've cut everything back, we break it into piles. So the piles are a bit overgrown because it was really wet and rainy, and then it was really dry, and then we were building a house, and that's how life goes when you live off grid. So anything that's really chunky like this, we get it and we can chop it down to suitable sizes, so we've got it for our log fire. Anything under 5 centimetres go in this little beauty. Now this is one of the best things that I ever bought, and I certainly wouldn't have built that. I've stripped it down a few times, but basically this, you feed it into here and it comes out as chippings. This means that everything that's coming off the trees can go back into the trees. It breaks it down, goes under the base of the trees, that fertilises the trees, it gives it a new growth, you know. And you see, if you throw this on the floor, it's going to take a while to break down, but when you throw this through a machine like this baby breaks it down, so it will be feeding the tree that it came from. Our wood that we've collected, and we have this we have our grapevine growing into our wood pile at the moment. It's not a problem, it's just doing its thing. I needed it to recover. It had had a hard time. As we were building this, it got really stressed. So once it dies down at the end of the year, we can just trim it and we can chip all those things and it'll be fine. But it's just doing its thing. We don't need much wood at the moment. And we've got the kindle in here and we've got all these nice, safe little short pieces to put in our log fire. This is an 8 kW kilowatt fire, and you just open it up. It's got paper in it ready for next time because it stopped raining and I've not set it on fire yet. But basically I'll set that on fire and then I'll put the wood in. And then in winter, if the fire's on, what I do is I put kettle on, and then I've always got a hot pot of tea boiling. And then same with keeping me food warm.
So one thing I've asked people is with their systems, any of them, whether it's wastewater power, is there anything you regret doing, you would do differently? Have you had any problems? I know we've talked about the pump. And have you got, that's a bit much, that will do for now. Yeah.
So have I had any problems, or would I do anything differently with the system? You know,
you designed yourself, didn't you?
I did design everything myself and I've grown with it.
Yeah.
So when it came to being off grid, I used to do a lot of work and stuff living in my van. So I've always had my, you know, little bits of ideas and bits and pieces going. So I had a little bit of experience and knowledge and volunteering and things. So when it came to doing here, I'd had a lot of trials and errors and learning things the hard way before I even got to have my own place. But all I can suggest is, if you're like wondering what it's like to go from no thing to something that's off grid, start small and build up, you know. And when you build it yourself, what did I do that I kind of kick myself now? I didn't have much faith in myself when I started. I didn't.
Yeah.
And it's different when there's someone cheering you on, and then when you're kind of on your own and you're like, oh, I'll just keep swimming. And you tend to trust people or put your faith in people and think that maybe you're not good enough or maybe someone could do it better, because it's a bit overwhelming. It's a lot overwhelming when you've got all these things and all of a sudden you go from no thing to all of a sudden you've got land to look after, you've got a house to build, you know, I was camping and then I got volunteers and then you've got food to make and you've got animals and you've got all these things going on in your head, and it's like, wow, man. And you think, well, if someone else could just, it would be helpful. But actually, I've ended up doing pretty much everything myself and getting, like, every time I seem to have got other people, I've just ended up having to learn myself. So what I'd say is to start small, get like a small 200 volt, like 200 watt solar panel. Get a small 12 volt battery, a small inverter, and just start charging your phone and stuff and work from there. Because you're starting small, you know what it is. You've got you've got your controller, you've got your inverter, you've got your battery. It's so simple, you know. You can't go wrong. Only remember earth first, right? Always remember earth first, so battery first.
Your batteries, your solar panels, everything, have you bought them locally or do you order offline? Where have you got your supplies? Okay.
So when I started with a 200 watt panel stuck up the side of the geodome and a cheap Chinese controller and a second-hand car battery. And that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
And then I've developed it from there. So as you've seen, I bought a new controller and a new inverter on Amazon and had them delivered to a local picking up collection point. I bought a panel from Leroy Merlin, which is local.
Have you got any upgrades planned?
Yeah, everything upgrades.
Yeah.
Everything upgrades. So upgrading is, like I say, everything's grown with me. I started with a 200-watt panel.
Yeah.
I've now got the 480 panel. I've got, here is a 3K system. But as things are progressing, we're going to have the workshop and space for the ministry and things just over there. We're going to move the 3K system over there, and we're going to have a 5K system in here. K is kilowatt.
Yeah.
So it's bigger, and then, you know, I'll have more power. I mean, you don't need more than 3, but when you've got so many people, you need a bigger freezer and stuff. And also, I'm going to be upgrading so that the tiny houses get their own little power systems out there. So those are upgrading on the power.
But they're all kind of separate.
They are.
They're independent.
Yeah, so I keep everything separate, because otherwise, if one thing goes down, it all. I've always got backup. I've got backup for everything.
Yeah. You don't have any kind of petrol or diesel generator as backup?
I do have a petrol generator. I've never used it for power in here. I use it if there's somewhere where I need to do power the other end of the land, because the other end of the land's 100 metres from here. So if
you've never needed it in the winter?
No.
So just for layman's terms again, you said you only really need a 3 kilowatt system, 5 kilowatt if you want to have plenty.
Yeah.
And that would do a fridge, a freezer, a washing machine, a few kitchen appliances like blender and stuff.
It's works.
And then just charging up all your electricals.
It's worked.
And that's, What about lifetime of everything? So those batteries, 10 years or something? How long?
No. Those batteries have just been replaced. The 2 years I had out of them. 2 years out of the batteries. Batteries last, they usually come with a year of guarantee or something, but 2 years I had out of them. I'm grateful for them 2 years. And it was like, I think it was 400 a battery. So for like €800, I had 2 years of batteries.
So you're looking at every 2 years, you've got to be spending another 800
At the moment, yeah. I think that there'll soon be another way of doing things, because we can look at things based on as we are now, but the world is ever evolving, ever expanding. So there is no way in 2 years' time we're going to be at this price. Like if we've got exactly the same system, if we had, then the chances are the battery's going to be cheaper. Yeah, because there'll be better batteries out there. So it works.
Yeah, I think
it works.
Thank you very much. That was very extensive and detailed, and it's good because, so for those that want the extra detail, they've got it. I'll put all the links in and everything to where we can find all the stuff you do. I didn't even realise. I remember. I forgot you did so much, but I didn't realise your course was free as well.
Yeah.
That's so nice. That's so generous. Thank you.
Thank you.